Hello viewers. In this video lecture we are going to see the topic exception handling from the second unit of web technologies. Exception is the presence of some abnormal condition which requires some sort of techniques or handling mechanisms. Exceptions is anomalous code that breaks the normal flow of the code. Such exceptions require specialized programming construct for its execution. In programming, exception handling is the process or method used for handling the abnormal statements in the code and executing them. It also enables to handle the flow control of the program. Various handlers are used that process the exception, and it helps to execute the code without any error. For example, when we do the division of a non-zero value with the zero, it leads to infinity. So it is called as exception. Thus, with the help of exception handling, it can be executed and handled. In exception handling, a throw statement is used to raise an exception. That is, when an abnormal condition occurs, the exception is thrown with the help of this throw statement. Let us see the types of errors. In programming, we can classify the errors like syntax error. When we make any mistake in the predefined syntax of the programming language, this error is called as a syntax error. Runtime error. When an error occurs during the execution of the program, such an error is known as runtime error. The code which create runtime error are called as exceptions. Logical error, an error which occurs when there is any logical mistake in our program that will not produce the desired output, and it is called as logical error. Error object, when a runtime error occurs, it creates and throws an error object. Such an object can be used as a basis for the user-defined exceptions. The error object has two properties, name and message. Name is the object property that sets or returns an error name. On the other hand, message is the property that returns an error message in the form of string. Although error is a generic constructor, there are following standard built-in error types or error constructs are there. For example, eval error, internal error, range error, reference error, syntax error, type error, etc. Now let us start with the exception handling statements. There are three. For the exception handling, we can have these kind of structures with the throw statements, try catch statements, try catch finally statements. Catch. So first of all, let us see how what are the uses of try statement and the catch statement. So we will have the block like this. Initially we will have the try block. Following that we will have the catch block. That is the error, we will place the error prone code inside the try block. That is the code which may cause the exception will be placed inside the try statement. If and following that we can have the catch block. If error occurs in the try statement, then catch block is used to handle the error. That is, the code necessary to handle the error will be placed in the catch statement. So if error occurs in the try statement, that particular error will be handled by the catch statement. So this is the syntax. This is a coding example in our HTML document. Under the try block, we have defined an array with the name A. Then we are printing the arrays, elements of the array with the coding document.write A. And another one statement we are having, for example, document.write B. So here actually B is unknown identifier. A is known identifier. We know A is defined as array with some sort of elements. But in this, when we try to print B, if we don't have the exception handling mechanism in our coding, the execution will get the error. Isn't it? The error, we will get the error like B is undefined. But here we have we put these codings inside the try block, and in the catch block we are having the handling message, handling coding to handle the particular error. That is simply we are having some warning message, alert message to show that that particular variable is unknown. So in this way we can have the error handling, exception handling with the help of try block and the catch block. So if we try to print B, we will get the alert message like this. Throw statement. It is used to throw statements are used for throwing user defined error. Users can define and throw their own custom errors. The syntax is throw exception. So along with the try catch blocks, we can have the throw block. So this HTML document consists of the try block, catch block. And another one statement associated with the exception handling is finally. Finally is an optional block of statements which is executed after the execution of try and catch statements. Finally will execute whether or not the exception occurs. But we know catch block only will be executed if exception occurs in the try block. But rather than bothering about the exception occurs or not, the finally block, the statement present in the finally block will always executes. So this is the syntax having the try block, catch block and finally block. So this is an example coding. Inside the try block we have defined one variable and we are checking whether the value of the variable is equal to 2. If it is 2, we will get the we will print OK. Otherwise we will get the error code. So in the if exception occurs in the try block, we have the catch block. In the catch block we are printing the error message, and finally block, in the finally block we are just printing something like value of a is 2. So finally block, don't bother about the error exception, which will always execute it, isn't it? So in the output we are getting since the value of our variable value is 2, we don't get exception, so we will get the proper output like exception handling is actually the heading we have defined in the HTML document. Then we are getting OK. Since the value of variable is 2, we are getting OK. Then following that value of a is 2. This is the statement we have defined in our finally block. So we are getting the output like this. So that's all about the exception handling in JavaScript. Thank you.